Today's Dhamma talk is entitled Approach to Nibbana. In this Dhamma talk, first let us try and understand briefly the meaning of the word Nibbana. Nibbana is derived from Pali and composed of two syllables, Ni plus Vana. Ni means extinguish or annihilated. Vana means desire or craving, and Pali called Jhana. So together, Nirvana or Nibbana means freedom from desire or extinction of kilesa defilements. When we start these thoughts that perpetuates these sentient beings to be falling around in the endless round of rebirths which we call samsara, we find the clinging or desire, that is Jhana, as the main cause. As soon as clinging develops, efforts must at once be made to satisfy the desire. Then volitional activities would start operating. In the present context, they may be called karma formations, for they are responsible for forming or shaping actions.
当我们探寻为什么众生不断在生死轮回旋转，我们会找到
These karmas are of three kinds. 1. Bodily actions, and Pali kaya karma. 2. Verbal actions, vaci karma. 3. Mental activities, mano karma. Apart from the period they are in sound sleep, all the sentient beings are preoccupied with one of these three activities all the time. Even when the body is at rest and one is verbally silent, the mind is active with all kinds of thoughts and imaginations. Depending on these karma formations, there arises mind and the metta aggregates, nama and rupa. These resultant mental and physical aggregates are invariably marked by the three characteristics of anicca or impermanence, dukkha or suffering or unsatisfactoriness, and anatta or impersonality or egolessness. As stated above, all sentient beings arise in the forms of mental and physical aggregates with these three inherent characteristics, dependent on karma formations, conditioned by the craving or desire, Jhana. Now, if one wants a tree or a plant to wither, one has to cut off its taproot or the main root. So also when one wishes to cease the endless cycle of suffering, one has to eradicate the craving or Jhana, the chief root of suffering and of the ever-continuing cycle of rebirth. Again, when one traces the source of craving or Jhana, one finds ignorance or avijja as its originator. Avijja, ignorance. Unknowing is synonymous with delusion. In literal sense, it is moha cetasika. It is the primary root of all evil and suffering in the world, veiling man's mental eyes and preventing him from seeing the true nature of things. It is the delusion tricking beings by making life appear to them as permanent, happy, substantial and beautiful, and preventing them from seeing that everything in reality is impermanent, liable to suffering, void of I and mine, and basically impure. Another influence of delusion, beings are forced to suffer in this ceaseless round of rebirth, old age, sickness and death. If one can overcome this delusion or ignorance by diligent mindfulness in accordance with Satipatthana, Vipassana Bhavana, or mindfulness insight meditation, one will gradually approach eternal bliss of Nibbana, the end of all suffering. That is why the Lord Buddha admonished us to one bhikkhu named Desatera, as mentioned in the Dhammapada text. Buddha said, O monks, Yoga Vajra Bhikkhu, meaning meditator bhikkhu, must indulge in Appamada Dhamma or diligent mindfulness. They should see the Pamada Dhamma or heedlessness as great danger. Prompted by such right view, if one devote oneself in the practice of Samatha and Vipassana meditation, meaning tranquility and insight meditation, one can gradually develop various stages of Magga and Phala, path and the fruition, thereby approaching Nibbana, free from the dana or craving, the root cause of all suffering. Bhikkhu Desatera, by making good use of mindfulness, that is Appamada Dhamma, he contemplated most earnestly on all physical and mental phenomena, while sitting, standing, walking, and lying down, or daily activities, etc. He was so fully engrossed in Satipatthana Vipassana meditation, his mind was cleansed of all mental defilements or kilesas, and he attained step by step all the 4 stages of Magga and Phala, path and fruition, and he became an Arahant, free from the kilesa or mental defilements, the cause of all sufferings. So may all our meditators also be able to indulge in Appamada Dhamma, diligent mindfulness, and realize Nibbana, the peaceful end of all sufferings.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Now if you all have questions, you may ask. If no questions for the moment, let me continue to discuss the answer I was giving in my last talk to the question. And it tallies with today's title also, Approach to Nibbana, or How to Realize Nibbana. To realize Nibbana, the only way, Buddha said in Satipatthana Sutta at the introduction, Ekainoyam Bhikkhu Mekho Satthana Visuddhiya Soka Pridevana Samatekamaya Dukkha Domanasana Atangamaya Yayasa Adhikamaya Nibbana Sasatikiriyaya Chiritam Chattaro Satipatthana. Buddha said the 4 foundations of mindfulness meditation is the only way said to gain Nibbana. So in giving the answer to the question in my last talk, I was explaining how to practice these 4 foundations of mindfulness, or the only way to Nibbana Satipatthana method. We can do in 3 ways. One is first establishing concentration by practicing Samatha Bhavana or tranquility meditation. You establish concentration, and if you aspire for Nibbana, then you must change to Vipassana Bhavana or insight meditation. And that type of meditation we call Samatha Yanika. Samatha means tranquility or concentration meditation. Yanika means method or the vehicle or the method. So, first establishing concentration by Samatha method, then you change into Vipassana Bhavana or insight meditation. And listening to the talks, the repetitions are unavoidable and like it is beneficial because you can understand well and you can remember more. And in my last talk, I have already explained in detail how to practice this Samatha Bhavana. Buddha has prescribed 40 subjects. I hope you all have remembered 40 subjects of Samatha Bhavana or concentration meditation. The first group of 10 is Kasina meditation, 10 Kasina meditation. For the benefit of those who miss, out of these 10, the first 4 is 4 Mahabhuta gross elements of Patavi or Ad Kasina, Apo or water Kasina, Tejo or heat fire Kasina, and Vaya or wind Kasina. Kasina 4. Then 4 color meditations. Blue, yellow, red, white, Nila, Pita, Lohita, or Tata, those 1 Pali names. It is very beneficial to remember or to hear the Pali words also. As I often said, Pali is a language Buddha uses when he gives discourses. So just to honor him and the Dharma, please be patient when we quote Pali words or Pali phrases. So out of the group of 10 kasinas, the 4 elements and 4 color kasinas, and the remaining 2 are Aloka and Akasa. Aloka means light kasina, light. Akasa means space kasina. So total 10 kasina contemplations and this Samatha Bhavana or tranquility meditation. Then the second group of 10 contemplation is we call Asubha Bhavana, contemplation on loathsomeness of the body. Though it is 10, not 10 dead bodies, it is actually 10 stages of decomposition of a dead body. And this type of practice is now obsolete because it is very difficult to get dead bodies nowadays. During Buddha's time, probably due to some economical reason or cultural reasons in India, that some or most of the dead bodies are just disposed of at a prescribed area which we call Jhana ground. So dead bodies are easily available for meditators to go at night time. The monks or bhikkhus usually go to these Jhana ground and they do this Asubha Bhavana. But nowadays even medical students are difficult to getting dead bodies. They have to use morals and these diagrams or charts. So anyway, second group of 10 Samatha meditation is 10 stages of decomposition of a dead body. So Kasina 10, so second 10 is Asubha 10, now 20. The first 10 Kasina contemplation can lead one to up to 4th jhana. And the second group of 10 Asubha Bhavana can lead one to 1st jhana. Then the third group of 10 in this Samatha Bhavana is Anusati Bhavana. Anusati means recollections or reflections. The first one is Anapanasati, contemplation on in-breath and out-breath. This can lead one to up to 4th jhana. Then the next one is Kayagata Sati, the second in this Anusati group. Kayagata Sati is contemplation on 32 parts of the body. For practical meditation purposes, Buddha divided actually more than 32 parts. But for easy contemplation, Buddha divided the body into 32 parts to contemplate. And this contemplation or meditation can lead one to up to first jhana. That I have given a detailed explanation how to do this Kayakata-sati, and we come from time to time, we give in detail. I hope you all remember. Kesa, Loma, Naka, Danda, Tatsyo, these are Pali words. Head hair, body hair, nails, teeth, and skin. This is the first five groups that we can identify by ourselves or on our body or other people's body. So during Buddha's time, young boys who joined the order as Samanera or novices, they are taught, while their head is shaving, they are taught to recite and reflect on these parts. Because the child is a new one and young, the preceptor gave only these 5 out of the 32, and they contemplated seriously. We call Patiloma, Anuloma, and Patiloma, ascending and descending. So by the end of the shaving of the head, it is that many of these young boys, they even attain up to arahantship. So this is very beneficial. And it is called Tatya Panchaka. Tatya means skin. A group of 5 ending in skin. Out of 32, one can contemplate this one also. Because the rest are internal organs. If you have got no medical knowledge, it is hard to imagine. Because now there is no more dead bodies also. But if you use diagrams or charts. But the 5, if you can do that, is quite sufficient. As I have now said, it is said by commentaries that many young boys, they gain even arahathood by contemplating this Tatya Panchaka, a group of 5 ending in skin. So in this third group of 10, in this Samatha meditation or triangulating meditation, the first 2 is Anapanasati and breath out breath, and the second is Kayakata-sati or contemplation on 32 parts of the body. And the remaining 8 are Buddha Nosati Bhavana, recollection on Buddha's virtue. As you all know, Buddha has actually Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, Triple Jhana has infinite attributes of virtues. But for easy remembrance, Buddha has concisely formulated into 9 cardinal virtues of the Buddha, the true Buddha, Sama Sambuddha. Itipiso Bhagava Arahan Sama Sambuddho Veja Charana Sampano Sigato Loka Vidu Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarati Sata Diva Manusana Buddho Bhagava. So you can make use of these all 9 virtues, or you can choose any one you like. In Thailand they usually teach Buddha, and the meditators are to recite mentally and verbally as Buddha. And Brahma we use the first attribute Arahant, because Arahant is the main of these 9 cardinal virtues. The rest virtues are derived because of this Arahant virtue. Anyway, any one or all of the 9 virtues one can recite mentally and reflect on it. And that is what we call Buddha Nosati Bhavana, contemplation on Buddha's virtue. And the next Nosati Bhavana is Dhamma Nosati Bhavana, reflection on virtues or attributes of Dhamma. And this too Buddha has formulated concisely into 6 cardinal virtues. And from time to time when we have a chance, we have already explained in detail. If you contemplate with understanding of the meaning of the Pali you are reciting, it is more beneficial and effective. Anyway, 6 cardinal virtues of Dhamma, as you all are familiar. Sakhato Bhagavata Dhammo Sandetiko Akaliko Pasiko Opaniko Pachatan Vitita Povenu. So these are 6 Dhyanapatis. Here too, you can do all the 6, or you choose any one of 6 attributes and you can contemplate on. That is Dhammanupassana Bhavana. Then the next Anusati Bhavana is Sangha Anusati Bhavana, contemplation on Sangha Bhajya. Here too, Buddha has formulated infinite virtues of a Sangha into 9 Kadayana virtues, beginning with Supatipan or Bhagavato Savaka Sangha, etc. The 9 Kadayana virtues. So you can either contemplate all the 9 at the same time or one by one as you please. So that contemplation on Sangha virtue is called Sangha Anusati Bhavana. So the next Anusati Bhavana is Jaga Anusati Bhavana. Jaga means generosity, liberality or charity. And the whole life we put ourselves in the habit of doing some or offering some gifts to someone, even animals or humans, or those who are worthy of honor, or those who are needy persons. So when you have done all these things, you can recollect these activities of generosity or charity or generosity. That is, recollection on these acts of dana is we call Jaga Anusati. Then the next one is Sila Anusati, or reflection on one's moral virtue. We Buddhists are obliged to observe at least minimum 5 precepts for all Nivali persons. And on occasions like when you are in a retreat or on special auspicious occasions of the Buddha, we usually observe 8 precepts. And Samaneras and Sanghas, we have corresponding disciplinary conduct which we call Patimokkha Samvara Sila. So when we observe up to the extreme purity, when we can reflect, we can develop a piti or rapture. And basing on that, we can even develop, if we change to insight, we can even gain path and fruition knowledge. So such type of reflection or recollection of one's pure moral virtue is Sila Anusati. So the next Anusati Bhavana is Marana Anusati Bhavana, recollection on death. And that too, I have from time to time explained in detail how to contemplate on death. Life is uncertain, death is certain, so that we get the sense of urgency, in Pali we call samvega, to do good, to meditate, and to strive for deliverance from this samsaric suffering. And that recollection on death is called Marana Anusati. Then the last one is Upasama Anusati. Upasama Anusati means reflection or recollection on peace. Peace means Nibbana. So the first one, Anapanasati, can lead one up to 4th jhana. And the second, Kahagadasati, can lead one to 1st jhana. And these remaining 4, the latter 4 I just now described, recollections can lead up to Upachara Samadhi only, not jhana. So the first group of 10 Kasina, 10 Asupa, 20, then the third 10 group is Anusati Bhavana 10, so total 30. So the remaining 10, out of the remaining 10, the first 4 is we call Arupa meditation, Arupa Bhavana. After gaining Rupa Jhana, if one can continue meditating, one can develop Arupa Jhana, 4 Arupa Jhana. So that we call 4 Arupa. 4 Brahmavirama means contemplation or meditation on 4 sublime states of mind. metta or loving kindness, karuna or compassion, mudita or altruistic joy, and upekha or equanimity. So the four Brahmavihara, four contemplation on four sublime states of mind. Here, the first three, metta, karuna, and mudita, can lead one to up to third jhana, and the last one, upekha, or equanimity meditation, can lead one up to fourth jhana. So in this last group of 10, 4 aropa, 4 brahmavihara, 8. So remaining 2 are 1. Chatutadu Vavatana. Chatutadu Vavatana means contemplation on 4 great elements of Mahabuddha. And the last one is Ahare Patikula Sanya, loathsomeness of the food or nutrition. So these 2 can lead one only up to Upachara Samadhi. So in this last group of 10, 4 aropa, 4 brahmavihara, 1 chatutadu vavatana, and 1 ahare patikula sanya. So 10 kasina, 10 asubha, 10 anusati bhavana, and 10 miscellaneous. So together 40 subjects or 40 objects one can make use to contemplate this samatha bhavana or tranquility meditation. So now I have mentioned in detail how these 40 objects of meditation can be used for this tranquility meditation. And if one aspires to gain Nibbana, even if one has achieved Jhana, one must emerge or come out of Jhana and contemplate Vipassana Bhavana or mindfulness meditation. Because as I have just now quoted, because this is the only way, there is no other way. These Samatha meditation, even especially Jhana, they can only suppress the mental defilements, they cannot completely eradicate it. So to gain path fruition knowledge and realize Nibbana means we must completely eradicate mental defilements according to these 4 stages of enlightenment. So when one aspires for Nibbana, even if one starts with Samatha Bhavana, one must come out of, even if one has gained Jhana, one must emerge, and then the text it is said, one must emerge means one must come out of this jhanic concentration and start contemplating on 3 universal characteristics of anicca or impermanence, dukkha or unsatisfactoriness, and anatta or egolessness with mindfulness meditation. Because, please remember, it is the only way. Only Vipassana Bhavana or mindfulness insight meditation can completely eradicate or annihilate all the mental defilements with no other method. This jhanic attainments with tranquility meditation can only suppress temporarily. It cannot eradicate defilements. So please remember, when one aspires for Nibbana, one must practice Vipassana Bhavana. Even if one starts with Samatha Bhavana, when one has established concentration. Here, please may I remind you again, I have often mentioned, there are different types of concentration. The word concentration is just a general meaning. And Samatha meditation, when you are about to reach into Jhana or enter into Jhana, the neighborhood state, and that we call Upachara Samadhi. Just now I said some meditation objects, they can only lead you to Upachara Samadhi. Parivar Upachara means neighborhood or access. Like when a person approaches this building, when one comes to the steps and the terrace there, then one is sure to gain into the building. Before one enters the building, when one reaches the top of the stairs, that is we call neighborhood or access. One is access to the main building. So also when concentration sets in, and when it is about to fix on a single object, fixing on single object, one-pointedness is we call appana samadhi, absorption concentration. Just before reaching that stage is we call upachara samadhi, neighborhood or access concentration, because the next stage is absorption concentration. So if one wants to change to vipassana bhavana, access concentration is enough. Even if one has achieved absorption concentration or jhana, appana samadhi, then one must emerge out of that jhana, because at that time the mind is fixed on a single object, and you cannot contemplate on three karana or three universal characteristics of anicca, dukkha, anatta. And without contemplating on anicca, dukkha, and anatta, no one can gain any enlightenment or path and fruition knowledge and nibbana. So this is the significance of developing concentration and how to go in and coming out in samatha meditation. One must skillfully practice. So here, for your benefit, we'll have to revise again about the jhana fighters, because you must understand jhana fighters to know what stage you are in and when you are meditating. The first jhana fighter is vitakka, pariva vitakka. Then the second one is vichara. Then piti. The third fighter, the fourth fighter is sukha. And the fifth one is ekaggata. Eka means one, ekata means fixedness of mind or one-pointedness of mind. So these are five jhana fighters. Vitakka, vichara, piti, sukha, ekaggata.
集中的心。
Vitakka means, as translated, initial application of the mind. Meaning, when you started focusing your attention on the object of meditation, that is like applying your attention of the mind on the object. So that is, in Pali we call vitakka. Vichara means after applying your mind on the object, you sustain there to examine and to study or to contemplate on the object. So vichara is translated as sustained application. So these two together you must understand. The first one, vitakka, means initial application of the mind to the meditation object. And sustaining the mind on the object to examine its the characteristics of the object is vichara, vitakka and vichara. Commentaries give summaries for easy understanding. You can see some bees and insects when they dive down towards the flower to suck the nectar of the flower. So when the insect dives down towards the flower, that is like vitakka. And then when it reaches the flower, it starts sucking the nectar of the pollens, and that is vichara. So that's how you can differentiate vitakka and vichara. Vitakka means initial application of the mind like that, and the diving down towards the flower. So you incline your mind towards the object, that is vitakka. After inclination, you make a detailed study of your object, that is sustained application of the mind of vichara. Like that, the diving down towards the flower, and then enjoying itself with the nectar of the flower. As I often mention, if you read many books or listen many talks, each speaker or author translates its own with one's own liking. So there are many translations. So I would like to advise you all to stick to proper translations so that not to confuse the meaning. The main meaning is rapture, but technically in Abhidhamma, the suitable translation is delightful interest. Delightful interest in the object is the piti or rapture. So please stick to delightful interest because it is very meaningful, and I will explain further. And the next one is sukha. Sukha is translated so also many words, but we will stick to happiness. So piti is delightful interest or rapture, and sukha is happiness. So it belongs to Vedana Khana, Vedana group. To understand better, commentaries give another simile to differentiate between piti and sukha. A person traveling in the desert, as you all know, deserts are deeply of trees and shades. It is hot from all sides, hot from above. Sun is very hot, and the sands are very hot. Walking on the sand hot, and environmental air is hot air, and everything is hot there. So person and from place to place is usually very long and isolated. So the traveler on the desert is usually exhausted. Or in medical term we call heat stroke. He is usually tormented by this excessive heat, hypothermia, excessive rise of temperature. And while he is struggling on this journey from a distance, when he sees the oasis, then in his mind he becomes joyful, or some say delight, happy. Actually, that's why I ask you all to stick to delightful interest. The mind becomes interested with the light and the object, with the expectation that he's going to get relief of his suffering. So from a distance when he sees the oasis, and that time this mental emotion arises, we call piti. That's why it belongs to Sankarakanda. So with that delightful interest in the object, he spurred to make exertion to he hurried forward. And when he reached that oasis, then he dived down towards the water pool, then fresh himself out by wetting and cleaning the mouth and drinking the water, and he completely relieved of his heat torment, and he became happy. So that is the feeling. So that's why this happiness belongs to Vedana Khana. So that's how the commentaries give similes. From afar he doesn't enjoy the object as yet, just have some idea that he's going to get relief. And that causes him delightful interest in the object, and that is the piti, characteristic of piti. He is delightful interest in the object. And when he actually experiences that delight or happiness, and that becomes sukha. And that's why the two are differentiated. So piti belongs to Sankarakanda because it is a mental formation, it's a formation in the mind only. And when he actually experiences the happiness, then that becomes Vedana Sukha. At such concentration, these 5 jhanic factors develop. And as one continues meditation, when it matures, then one enter into the first jhana. So in first jhana, we have these 5 jhana factors, beginning with upachara samadhi, and when one gains first jhana, there are 5 jhana factors. So since this vitaka and vichara, and its application is the same application, is not conducive to strong concentration. So the meditator becomes detached with these two, and if one enter into the second jhana, and second jhana, only 3 left, piti, sukha, ekagata. And this sukha too is a kind of emotional state. So its truth is not conducive to perfect peace and tranquility. So the meditator substitutes sukha with upekha, equanimity. So in the 4th jhana, upekha and ekagata only is left. So it's the 2 factors. And the third jhana, sukha and ekagata. And sukha is replaced by equanimity. And the 4th jhana, so in 4th jhana only two are equanimity and ekagata. So these are about the jhana factors. So those who aspire to gain jhana have to work that the way I have just now explained in detail. But if one aspires to gain Nibbana, practice Samatha Yanika or beginning with the Samatha meditation, when one reaches such concentration or neighborhood concentration, which we call upachara samadhi, it is the right time for one to change to vipassana or insight meditation. Because if one goes further and go into different jhanic states, one has to emerge, one must know how to come out of this jhanic state. Otherwise one will be stuck at that jhanic level and cannot contemplate insight meditation. So when one has achieved upachara samadhi or neighborhood concentration, it is the right time for one to change. If one aspires for Nibbana, one must change to vipassana bhavana or insight meditation, which we call 4 foundations of mindfulness. Why do we need to develop concentration and meditation? Any type of meditation, we need to develop concentration. Because to suppress nivaranas. Nivaranas are, pariva nivarana means hindrances or obstacles or impediments that hinder, that obstruct or that impede you progress in meditation. So these are 5 nivaranas that we have many times explained in detail. So in samatha meditation, if one can achieve such concentration or upachara samadhi, that is enough to suppress these nivaranas. So that's why I said, those who aspire to realize Nibbana through samatha yanika, one should change to vipassana bhavana or insight after establishing this upachara samadhi or neighborhood concentration. Okay, let us stop here. Idame punya Nibbanasa Pachayo Hotu Idame punya Yadina Hotu Sukita Hontu Nyatayo Imano Punya Bhaga Sabha Satana Tema Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. May you all be happy. May you all be healthy. May you all be free from suffering. May you all attain eternal peace or Nibbana in the shortest possible time.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.